It's currently 9:27 p.m. Here's where I am currently on the Satchel Sort polystyrene ball drawing project. I'm pretty close to finishing the project. After getting to this point with my marker tray during the morning and afternoon hours, after a combination of drawing new dotted circles to test one fine tip, one ultra fine tip, combos of what I felt were the same color hue, and new squares to test combos between a fine tip Sharpie marker I assigned as a skin tone, and ultra fine Sharpie markers that I assigned as a facial to those same skin tone Sharpie marker. At this time, I should be back on a good sleep schedule. I'm currently coughing up some phlegm, but not that much. For today, and over the past couple days, there are periods in which I cough up phlegm somewhat, and periods of time in which I don't cough up phlegm. and I'm not really sure what the cause of it is. I drew a few noses on that polystyrene, polystyrene ball. In order to, aside from practicing the facial, the Sharpie markers assigned as facials to corresponding Sharpie markers I have assigned as skin tones. For when I draw people, or a person for a polystyrene drawing project, which is essentially something I do every time. I also drew the noses to get some practice on drawing noses. And different shape noses, and whether to draw the nostrils first or the outline of the nose. I spent the vast majority of today going through my current rotation of games on Congregate, which for me currently is Oceania, One Among Zombies, and Idle Grindia, Dungeon Quest, and lastly the idle game Law of the Cat God. Of which I most recently invested in the automation upgrades that you unlock using blessings. Thinking maybe I was supposed to do that in order to get to the next stage of the game, where you get set to try to complete your first trial. or you get disciples to devote based off of the short descriptions of the 2 hard badges for that game, Law of the Cat God. Around 6:45 in the morning, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich I made. Toasting the bread, then spreading on the peanut butter and then the jelly. I took a picture of the 2 pieces of bread separately, but combined them together to eat them as a sandwich. And I had that with my first cup of plain coffee. I recall having roughly 3 cups of plain coffee from 6:45 in the morning to about 9 in the morning. Then around 12:15 p.m. I had with the last kombucha spritzer we had at the time before Dad went grocery shopping at Wegmans today. 2 cheese and peanut butter sandwiches that I made, toasting the bread with the cheese on those slices of bread. I think it was 2 slices of cheese each, some kind of cheddar, though the toasting didn't really fully melt the cheese. Then I spread on peanut butter on top of the sort of softened cheese, since I like cheese and I like peanut butter. It made for some good sandwiches. I think maybe next time I do that particular sandwich, I'll spread on more peanut butter. At the time, I was kind of just afraid of I would end up essentially mixing the cheese and with the peanut butter, physically mixing them anyway. So spreading the cheese more than it was afraid of essentially spreading the cheese along with the peanut butter. These are the new items that were unlocked by completing the most recent workbench upgrade for me on One Among Zombies. The gecko helmet seems to be pretty promising. This campaign mission introduces this new enemy type, which thankfully as of now hasn't gotten a single opportunity ever to attack my character, but I'm willing to bet it does more damage than any other enemy encountered beforehand in this game. And that includes the acid spitters, though. Yeah, I won't really know for sure until I get attacked by one of these enemies. I recall sleeping roughly from 7 p.m. to about 9 p.m. today. Before waking up naturally.